Welcome to the Football Forecast, your ultimate guide to the NFL week ahead. Get ready as we dive deep into the biggest matchups, analyze key player performances, and break down the strategies that could make or break your favorite team's chances. Whether you're looking to dominate your fantasy league, make smart picks and bets, or simply stay ahead of the game, we've got you covered with insights and predictions. So buckle up, football fans. It's time to get your game face on for another action-packed week in the NFL. While only one team can hoist the trophy at the end, it all starts with the forecast.
Happy New Year, and here we go. It is Week 18, the regular season finale of the Football Forecast here on the Empty the Bench Network. You can watch all Empty the Bench programming on YouTube, youtube.com/ETB Network. Where you are new, please do subscribe. Also, leave us a like and make sure you have your notifications set so you know when all of our programming will be coming out as we hit a brand new year. You can also follow us on social media at TFB Forecast ETB, where you can get our locks of the week, and for this week, our Sunday night pick, and so much more. And if you can't watch us on the video side, you can listen to the Football Forecast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Well, guys, hopefully your new year is off to a great start. Hopefully it's a year where we can all do pretty well in terms of these picks, but we started off with a lot still to be determined. I mean, we have some things already set in stone, but a lot that we don't have. Right, Mr. Playoff Scenario, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. We've got both South divisions on the line this week. We have the AFC North on the line this week, with the AFC North and NFC, with the AFC North, by the way, being a win or go home game on Sunday Night Football, which we will touch upon. We have seedings still to be determined. Eagles and Bears have won their divisions, but they are fighting for the 2 and 3. We've got a very big matchup on Saturday night to determine the number 1 seed in the NFC, and therefore also who the top wild card will be in that conference. And then the wild cards in the AFC are all to be determined. We know the teams. We just don't know who's going to be a division, who's going to be a wild card. This is going to be a fun week. And the number 1 pick is also on the line because thank you, Giants.
Yeah. With all that happening, it makes Week 18 arguably the toughest week when it comes to making a pick, whether it's against the spread or a total. But I feel like we've said that all year, and actually, when you look at last week, I think that was set in stone last week.
But Johnny, there's something about that happens in the first that doesn't happen in the first 17 weeks that we also are going to deal with this week, and that is the rest alert.
Yes, the resting starters alert. That's also a Tom O'Mano special.
By the way, but speaking of last week's record.
Yeah, not the best week. I mean, I won't go over specifics, but as a whole, we were combined 38, 99, and 7.
Just me personally, I think it was the worst week that I've ever had in the history of being a part of this show. So if you want to talk about how bad people's weeks were, that was my week in particular, where there was obsessive amounts of red and very little green. So.
Yeah, not great. Nick D, but was our winner last week. He went 7-9 and did hit his lock, so he did score 20 points as a result. So
just like the NFC South, Nick D wins the week with a losing record.
Well, we do have pretty much a clinching scenario. Yeah, pretty much a clinching scenario in terms of our standings. So as we enter the final week of the regular season, Mike is in the lead with 132, 122, and 2 for 298 points. Nick D is in second at 117, 138, and 1 for 265. Nick Morganson and Christie both have 264. Zan 260, Grant 257. I have 254, Tom 246, and Ben 242. So if I'm doing the numbers correctly, I think Mike needs like 5 points or so automatically to clinch. He's got a 15-game lead in terms of the standings. So pretty much that means that Mike would have to go like 2-15, and Nick D would have to go 17-0 in order to really win. So I can't really say a clinching scenario because we don't know when that's going to happen. But let's see what we can do. Let's all start the new year and end the regular season on a high note. So we all ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, here we go for the regular season finale. And like Tom said, 2 Saturday games get us going, both with huge scenarios. And Tom, I'll start with you first in game 1. It is, in fact, a Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, Katie George, Peter Schrager special on ESPN and ABC, as we've got the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield for the second time in 3 weeks, this time down at Raymond James. And the Bucs, a 3-point favorite with a total 43.5.
And here's the scenario for this one. If the Panthers win, all bets are off. They are the NFC South champion. The Buccaneers season is over. If the Buccaneers win, however, and this is a common misconception, even I fell for it at first, the Buccaneers are not automatically NFC champions. Instead, the Saints-Falcons game, which will lead off our Sunday discussions, that will then play a role in determining who the champion is. The Bucs need to win, and they need the Saints to win on Sunday to get the division title. If the Panthers lose, then the guarantee, which I kind of hinted at earlier, the division champion, regardless of who it is, would be 8-9.
Well, here's the weird scenario that people were falling for in a tricky scenario that all 3 teams would be 8-9, but the Panthers hold the head-to-head in all the different scenarios. So if they all finish 8-9, the Panthers would be the division winner.
Correct. And I'll be very honest with you guys. I don't think Sunday is going to be needed because my pick is going to be the Panthers. Not just the +3. I think Panthers outright win this matchup. The Buccaneers, you guys know how much I've been putting my stock in Baker Mayfield, how much I love what he's done. And I think with everything he has done, he is a Tampa Bay modern, star. He is with all that he has done. And of course, Tampa Bay has all of the stars. They have more star power than Carolina. The problem is Tampa Bay has not played like that over the last 2 months of the season. They have been one of the weakest teams in the NFL for several weeks now. Meanwhile, the Panthers just continue to impress. Even when faced off against tough competition like the Rams, they're either staying in the matchup or they're winning it. And I think the momentum will show in this last matchup. I don't think that Saints-Falcons game matters. Panthers +3 outright upset victory.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, so when I was going through my picks, I actually wrote the wrong team down when I was putting my picks together. I'm actually in agreement with the guy on my left over here with the Panthers as well. I think momentum is on their side. I think they're playing good football. I don't know what to expect out of the Bucs as of late. They've kind of been, and this is an old term from back in the day on our network, a mystery box. So I don't know what to expect out of the Bucs. Baker Mayfield, great year. Not taking away anything from him. If anything, he's probably a comeback player of the year, the way this has looked. After all the hardship and injuries and everything he's been through, great year. Should he be in the top 5 or 7 in voting for MVP? Yeah, sure. You could say that. But I like the Panthers.
This game, this is such a difficult game to pick for either play. And it's because I don't trust either of these teams long term. I trust the Panthers in some aspects, but not in others. What I trust the Bucs in, I think, Tom, you had alluded to this, is that they have the more experienced quarterback and coach in this matchup and maybe the more established roster. But, gosh, I mean, the Panthers, the Panthers weren't that bad last week. There was a couple of bad plays, and the Seahawks defense was so good. But it wasn't like that final score.
But they still hung on.
I think the final score of that game last week was very misleading because the Panthers were in it for the first half or so, and the Seahawks, I should say, were the ones that were playing last week that I thought did really well. This is a stay away game for me. I couldn't touch this. I couldn't touch this with the spread. I couldn't touch this because I think it's going to be right close to that number. Stay away alert. If we had that feature, Tom, I would not, and Nick, I would not play this game. But I'm going to play it, and I'm going to hate this. But for the fact that this game is at Raymond James and the Bucs want revenge from 2 weeks ago, I'm going to say take the money, and I'm going to go with the Bucs. And you know what? So be it. If the Panthers win this by whichever way possible, too, so be it. I'm actually rooting for the Panthers. I think it would be an awesome story. But if I'm to put money on this game, which would be crazy, I'm going to go with the Bucs. Zan?
Yeah, pretty much for all the reasons, Johnny, you just alluded to. I think Tampa Bay wins this game and covers. And I've been wrong on the Buccaneers for about a month now, but this is one of those where now it's put up or shut up. Their backs are against the wall. They need extra help going into Sunday, but they know they have to hold up their end of the bargain. And I don't know. I just feel like I trust Baker Mayfield a lot more than I do with what the Panthers have on the other side. And I just think, I don't know. I just have a feeling that experience is going to win out. And that's the part that I think burned me a couple weeks ago when I thought Tampa would win the initial matchup. But something tells me that they're just going to play well down the stretch. And if they need a last second field goal or potentially a winning touchdown to get it done, as you just alluded to, so be it. But you're only asking them to cover by 3 points, which means they only have to win by a minimum of 4. Give me Tampa Bay to at least keep their playoff hopes alive for 16 to 22 hours or so and see where everything goes. So give me Tampa Bay to cover.
Okay. Mike.
Yeah, this game is tough because like the Panthers, they stay in games that we don't think they're gonna stay in. And they've been doing this all year long. Like they killed the Falcons 30-0. I know the Falcons aren't the greatest team, but that's still a crazy win. And then Baker, yeah, he started out very good with Emeka going crazy, and then like they kind of just fell off, in my opinion. So I'm gonna stay away from the Bucs here. I'm actually gonna take the Panthers here because I do think the Panthers outright win this game, clinch a playoff spot, and then they're going to lose first round. But so I'm going to go Panthers here.
I wouldn't be surprised whichever way this game goes. And
yeah,
Baker,
this
Baker's not been right. And some of the throws, he's short arming a lot of these passes. His interceptions have been horrific the last several weeks.
Well, he had the arm injury.
If the Bucs don't make the playoffs, I think we're going to find out that Baker had a much more serious injury than was originally let out to be.
Well, he was playing through it for a couple weeks.
It's showing. Reminds me of that last season in Cleveland.
We'll see. It should be a great one for ESPN. ESPN's really got both ends of this really well. So two crews that we usually end weeks with are where we're starting, including in the Saturday night game, Nick Morganson, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, and Laura Rutledge special on ESPN and ABC. Here out in the NFC West, Sam Darnold Seahawks against Brock Purdy's 49ers at Levi Stadium, and it's the Seahawks who are laying 1.5 points.
Yes.
Right?
Sorry, phone notification kind of distracted me. Very simple with this one. Whoever wins is where the NFC's road to the Super Bowl will roll through. The winner will win the NFC West and the number 1 seed in the NFC. Interestingly, however, the wild card can also be affected by this. If the 49ers win, the Seahawks hold the tiebreaker over the Rams, so Seahawks will be the 5, Rams would be the 6, and the Packers would be the 7. The 49ers win locks up the wild cards. If the Seahawks win, however, the Rams hold the tiebreaker over the 49ers, so that would allow the Rams to get back to the 5 seed with a win and a Seattle win.
So this is more of a seed jockeying type game.
Well, the number 1 seed is on the line. So the bye's also on the line.
But I'm saying everything else is a lot of seed jockeying.
Everything else is about seeding, but this game is also about the first round bye.
This is a really good game, though. By the way, on paper, I will say thank you. I was the only one who got the Niners right this past week because I just, again, have no trust in the Bears whatsoever. And that's not me just saying that for the first week. I've been on that hill for how many weeks, Johnny, now?
The whole year.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know about the whole year.
The whole year.
I would say at least the last 5 or 6 weeks. I digress. My point is the Niners are a much better team than people give them credit for, even with all the injuries that have been happening so far. And I think they might win this game, actually, because I just think the momentum is in their corner. Don't get me wrong. Sam Darnold has had an incredible year. Smith and Jigba's had an incredible year. He should be up there as one of the offensive players of the year. I think the Niners are going to win this game. I think it also helps that it's in San Francisco. If you also saw, if the playoffs go the way they go, they could play all the way through to the Super Bowl at home. The way this goes, the way if they end up a number 1 seed, which that's almost unfair in my opinion, but that's just the way the Super Bowl worked out.
It's unfair, but it would be really cool knowing that it's a distinct possibility in this crazy era of just movement and shift and change. It would be very, very unique.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just think the Niners hold the momentum. Don't get me wrong. I will say Sam Darnold, great year. You've totally refound your career, and I think you're going to have a great career in Seattle, but I think the Niners are a little too much. So I'm taking the Niners.
So let's get a couple of things out of the way. The Seahawks are the better team on defense. The Seahawks have no issue with the fact that it's a road game. The issue or the question for the Seahawks really is Sam Darnold, because we saw what Darnold we got in Week 18 last year. Are we going to get that again this year? And Darnold wasn't that great last week either. But you know who has been great? Has been Brock Purdy. I mean, he's playing at an insane level right now, which makes the Niners even more dangerous. And the Niners' speed actually, I think, matches up fairly well against the Seahawks defense. So if it's close late, which I think it will, it comes down to the fact that I trust Brock Purdy more than Sam Darnold. So I'm going with the Niners as well there in Santa Clara. Zan?
Yeah, I like San Francisco too. Them being at home is really, really important, and Seattle is going to come ready to play. It's going to be a really, really good game. I think it's a huge luxury that it's on Saturday as opposed to Sunday. I think that was very unique scheduling by the NFL to do that. And just the heroics of what San Francisco has been able to do all year kind of culminated in that game against the Bears with the way the 49ers were able to hold them off. And, you know, I just think it's going to be one of those just really, really hard-hitting, physical, nasty type of NFC West games where someone's going to have to lose, but I think the home field advantage is going to play a major factor, and I think the 49ers win. And I think this is one of those games where overtime could be a very, very relative possibility. And I think it's one of those games where, you know, you could look back on it and, you know, in a month or so, you know, when we're previewing the NFC Championship and one of these two teams, you know, is potentially in it, don't be surprised if this is the game we look back on to go, you know, well, this was the start of one of these playoff runs that was magical for either side. But nonetheless, though, I think home field advantage wins out, and I think the 49ers win the game in a thriller and just maybe have a shot at the number 1 seed. But obviously that remains to be seen. So
okay, so he's taking the Niners too. Mike?
Yeah, this Niners team is very, very weird to me. Great team, don't get me wrong. Their defense just gives up way too much yards. And it showed against the Bears. Like, yeah, they won the game, but that's because the Bears couldn't stop them. But I'm going to get off that topic. But Brock Purdy has been playing incredible the last 2 games. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's playing incredible. McCaffrey's very, very good at football. We've already known this, as long as he's not injured. But then this game all depends on how Sam Darnold plays. It's literally, that's how it is, because the Niners are going to score on the Seahawks defense. I understand they're a great defense, but the way Brock Purdy is playing and the chance that they can finish the year off at that's 7 or 6 straight home games is in their favor. So I'm going to go with the 49ers here to cover the spread, and I think they outright win this game just because how good Brock Purdy is playing.
Tom?
I think the other thing you have to mention when it comes to this game and just these teams' seasons in general is that the 49ers have been banged up week after week. It's always who's out, who's hurt this week, who's going to be out for this amount of time. Hell, Brandon Ayuk didn't even play a game this season. Now he's not even with the team. And yet, the 49ers, they are the walking dead. They are the walking dead. They continue to come forward. Zan, I'll throw a UFC comparison for you. They are the Korean zombie. They just continue to go forward. No matter what shot you land on them. It is incredible what this team has done. Having said that,
it's almost like no deficit is too big for them, which is even the more ironic part about it. But please continue. And yes, that was a very solid comparison.
Thank you. On the Seattle front, though, Sam Darnold, incredible season. I guarantee you Minnesota is kicking itself right now for letting him go. Jackson Smith-Njigba, JSN, has been one of, if not the best receiver in the NFL this season. He has been the breakout name in terms of wide receivers, and he is going to be a top star probably for the rest of his, or if not for the rest of his career, at least for the first few seasons that are coming up. Kenneth Walker has had great success. The defense has been incredible. This is going to be a fun matchup, but the 49ers are going to score. However, I believe in Sam Darnold. I believe that what we saw in Week 18, it's not going to happen twice. If it does, then yes, Sam Darnold will have an incredible rebound of a career in Seattle, but he will have that attachment that comes with him, that when the lights get bright, he ends up choking. But going all this back and forth, and what you guys say is right about San Fran, you're putting the pressure on me. If I had to pick something for the playoff machine, I would pick Seattle, but that's not going to be my play here. I'm going to go with the over. I think that this is going to be, I know this is a little bit of a risk when we're talking about good defenses, but if you're talking about Brock Purdy being able to get through Seattle's, I think Seattle's going to be able to get through San Fran's, and you're going to have an incredible back and forth game. So I'm going to make that play. I'm going to go on the over.
And by the way, the last thing I'll say is no George Kittle. He hasn't been healthy either,
Correct.
Which we haven't mentioned. Imagine if they had George Kittle. This would be a totally different matchup, I think, also.
Yeah.
We'll see, yeah, and that's why Kyle Shanahan's been up there as possibly coach of the year for the Seahawks, especially for the Niners there in San Fran. Very entertaining slate there on Saturday. And then, Mike, our first fast track game of the week is a Chris Myers, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale special on Fox. As we head down to Atlanta, we've got Tyler Shuck and the Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins, and the Falcons are laying 3.5.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, if the Buccaneers win on Saturday afternoon, a Saints win here would give the Bucs the division. A Buccaneers win, but a Falcons win, however, would mean the division goes to the Panthers, regardless of what happens on Saturday. One caveat, however, gentlemen, as of the day we are recording this, it just came out hours ago, Chris Olave out, and will be out for a little while, even in terms of the offseason. Blood clot discovered in one of his lungs.
Huge injury. Huge.
Yeah, fortunately, they discovered that early, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, Mike, we got to go quick on this pick. So what do you have?
Yeah, with the Chris Olave news, this is going to be Falcons.
Tom?
It would only be the Falcons thing, however, after pulling off the incredible victory they did last week to lose to a team like the Saints, even without Chris Olave. But that would be stupid of me to predict, considering that the Saints, what receivers does Tyler still have with no Olave? And, of course, they traded Rashid Shaheed during the trade deadline. So Falcons take the money.
Nick?
I think Kirk comes out and has a huge game because he knows he's not going to be back next year. I think this is his end, so he's got to come out and have a huge game. I think he's going to throw for like 3 touchdowns. I think this is going to be a huge game for Kirk, so give me the Falcons.
In this battle of the two hottest teams in the NFC South, I love how Tyler Shuck's been playing, but I think the Falcons' combination of the dominant rushing attack and their frisky defense is what's going to prevail, so I will take the money as well. Zan?
Falcons. Number one, even without the Olave news, I just think you never know what Saints teams are going to get, especially this year. And even though the game doesn't mean anything for both teams, it means something for the other teams in the division. So it's going to be a fun game, but the Falcons are a little bit better, and I definitely trust a quarterback with over a decade of experience. So give me Atlanta.
There. All right. This next game, guys, is a one-word fast track. A Tom McCarthy, Logan Ryan, Amanda Balionis special on CBS, as we've got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals 7.5-point favorites with a 44.5-point total, and I'm going to go with the Bengals. Zan?
Lock of the week, Bengals.
Oh!
Ooh.
I was not ready for that.
Mike?
Bengals.
Tom?
Bengals.
And Nick?
I can't believe I'm saying this. Bengals.
don't know a lot here. Yeah, very unusual.
Nick Morgansen's taking the Bengals.
One thing I will say real quick also, Myles Garrett will break the record. It's a single season sack record in this game.
He'll break it by 3.
The offensive line is still horrific for the Bengals. All right, our next game, and let's see, it's going to Zan. Zan, an Iron Eagle, J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn special on CBS, as we've got the Colts with Riley Leonard starting, taking on C.J. Stroud and the Texans at NRG Stadium are 10.5-point favorites.
This game is just...
Sorry. I was going to say, so I don't know if this counts as rest alert or not, considering Phillip Rivers isn't starting. But whatever, I won't do that for that. But here's the thing. So for the AFC South, for the Texans to remain alive, they have to win this game. They need to win, and Jacksonville needs to lose to clinch the AFC South and get that 4th seed. If not, then the seeding is going to come down where they end up in the wild card seeding is going to come down to what happens with Jacksonville, what happens with Buffalo, and what happens with the Chargers.
Yeah, and ironically, with how I do this order, the other AFC South matchup will be the next game. But I
thought you did that on purpose.
No, it just worked out that way with how I do it. I get it off of NFL.com, and that's just how the order it was. All right, Zan, with all that in mind, who do you have here?
I like a total in this game. I actually like the under between these two teams. I think this is a ugly game with a lot of punts and field goals. If I were to pick a team, I would pick Houston. I just think for whatever reason it's too many points, and the Colts will somehow play half decent. So I actually like a total here. Give me the under.
Okay, Mike.
I for some reason like the Colts here to cover the spread, just because I think it's a little too high because it all depends on how the Texans offense plays. If they play good, then they're gonna kill this spread line. But we don't know what offense we're getting. We know what defense we're getting. We don't know what offense we're getting. So I think I'm gonna take the Colts here at plus 10.5.
Do you still think the Texans win this game?
Yes, okay. I do think they win.
I have to ask just for the playoff machine.
Very fair. All right, Tom.
On that note, however, we really think that the Texans offense is going to struggle against Indiana. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know what we can expect with Riley Leonard, but yeah, no, Houston's a better team by a mile. I don't care how big this line is. I'm taking the money.
Nick?
So I'm looking at the injury report. It looks like Nico Collins has been on rest, and it looks like he's limited so far going into the week. I'm wondering if they're just going to rest him, but even though they need the game.
Right. As of this point, they do need the game. I know who Jacksonville's playing means their odds aren't great, but still.
No, their odds are not great.
But he's limited. Derek Stingley Jr. is limited. There's a lot of people limited here. So, I don't know. I don't love the spread in this game. I don't like the way this game is played out. I like the under just because I don't think a lot of points are going to be scored. I could see this being like 21-7 type game. I really do. So I'm just going to take the under.
Yeah, I agree, Nick. I think the under is the better play because I think that, obviously we talked about it, the Texan defense, Super Bowl caliber, but their offense is still a question. I mean, it started out strong last week, but then faded down the stretch. And Riley Leonard did all right when he came in for Daniel Jones, but doing this on the road against the hottest team in the league is going to be a challenge. But I do think with the Colts defense and the combination of the Texans offense, that's going to keep this game under 38.5 there in Houston. Tom, I will take the Texans to win if you want to put that in the machine, though.
Yeah.
I think they do win this, but I like the under more than any other play. All right, now to the other.
Nick, did you take the Texans as well?
I took the under, but I would take the Texans.
Okay.
Mike, this is the other half of the AFC South matchup, an Adam Amin, Drew Brees, and Christina Pink special on Fox, as we've got a battle of the former number one overall quarterbacks. The current one, Cam Ward and the Titans, against the former one, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, and the Jags an almost 2-touchdown favorite.
Here's the scenario for the Jaguars. Obviously, if they win, they are the AFC South champions, and they would be the 3 seed at minimum. However, here's where things get interesting. A Jacksonville win plus a loss by either Denver or New England somehow, and they become the 2. If Denver and New England somehow, some way both lose and Jacksonville wins, the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC would somehow go through Jacksonville.
So, Mike, with that in mind, now, Mike, we know you don't like taking spreads over 11.5, but it's the Titans, and you've done that. They seem to be your exception.
Yeah, the Titans are the exception.
If we keep it a book right now, we ass.
Yep, see, exactly. And the Jags are just been hot. They've just been a hot team. And I think they're finally earning a lot of people's respect on that they're actually a good football team. So, and Trevor Lawrence has been playing out of his mind. I don't know what's with him. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, they're playing out of their mind. So I'm going to take the Jags here at 13.5. I don't really love it. I'm not going to lie, but just because the spread's too big for me. But I think it's the play. It's a smarter play. So 13.5 right here. Jags.
Tom.
I mean, yeah, the line obviously is concerning betting-wise. And, as much as that line can be a little bit of a concern, I mean,
if we keep it a book right now, we ass.
What else can I really say? And yes, the Jaguars have definitely earned my respect over the course of the season. Take the money.
Nick.
So spread's too high for me. I don't care what team it is. I don't care if it's Cam Ward and playing like ass. I really don't care. I'm taking the under 47.5. I don't expect the Titans to score much. So the Jaguars could do all the scoring. Fine. That's totally fine. You want to score, you want to win 24-7 or 31-7, be my guest. I just don't think 48 points are going to be scored in this game. Under.
It's going to be very close to that, but I'm going to take the money and take the Jaguars. Zan?
It's a huge number, but I really like Jacksonville here too. And considering that I was really high on Jacksonville the first time these two teams played, which I didn't take it a step further this time for the second straight game between these two. The Jaguars should be able to win by at least more than 2 touchdowns, considering who the Titans have, and obviously the Titans have nothing to play for, so this should be an easy cover.
And Christy?
I mean, yeah, spread's too big, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay, so almost a near clean sweep there in Jacksonville. All right, Tom, this next game, there's no scenarios in this game, so because the Packers are already locked into the 7th seed. So let's make a true one-word pick here. And Tom, it is in fact a Spiro, Adam, and Aditi special on CBS. As the Packers being locked into the 7th seed, they're going to go with Clayton Tune taking on J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, and it's the Vikings up to a 7.5-point favorite with a 35.5-point total.
I was just going to say, you have a rest alert. The Packers, it's not just a matter of Clayton Tune starting. No starters. They are locked into the 7th seed. All the bench players are coming out in this one.
Does that include the new addition, Trayvon Diggs, for the Packers?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I
don't think so.
No.
I'm gonna go Packers plus 7.5.
Ooh.
I think the Vikings win because this game doesn't matter. The Vikings are actually playing their starters, but I think this is going to be a game that I don't think the Vikings are going to get out too much.
All right. No word officially. They said we had, according to Jeff Hafley, they says we need to make sure that he's ready to go. So he won't promise. He does want to play, but there's no word as of
actually.
Now.
Can I make that an under instead? Yep. I didn't realize it was 35.5. I'll go under. Actually.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you didn't lock it, then you can't change it. That's fine.
Under.
All right, Nick. What do you have?
No, I like the over in this one. I'm the complete opposite. No defense. The Packers are not starting their starters. I know the Vikings are starting, but their defense has been ass. Sorry, but I think there's going to be no defense played in this game. I could see this game being in the high 40s, possibly the way this game is with no defense. Give me the over.
I have it the total opposite. I think this is a defensive slugfest. I'm going to go under 35.5. Zan?
I'm with you on the defensive slugfest front. Give me the under.
All right, Christy?
Don't like this. I'm going to go with the under.
And Mike?
I'm going to go with the over here. I'm going to join Nick.
I think Mike's learned his lesson to never take unders again.
Yes.
3.
Well, not that this game matters, but should I just put Packers for everybody or in the playoff machine or whatever? I don't know why.
Not me.
Yeah.
Well, they're already into the 7, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're already locked in, so that doesn't really matter what we do there. All right, again, one-word pick in this game because, again, there's no scenarios. Christy, it is, in fact, a Kevin Kugler, Darryl Moose Johnston, Allison Williams special on Fox as Dak Prescott looks like he's going to at least start this game for the Cowboys. They're 3.5-point favorites against Jackson Dart and the Giants.
So there is a scenario involved here in terms of the number 1 draft pick is the thing. So if the Raiders obviously lose their game, then this doesn't matter. For the Giants, they need to win. The Raiders need to lose. And at least 2 of the following teams has to happen to get the 1 seed back.
Okay.
Seattle beating San Fran, Cleveland beating Cincinnati, Atlanta beating New Orleans, and Chicago beating Detroit. If the Giants win, however, of the following 5 teams, Cleveland, Tennessee, Arizona, the Jets, and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
For each of those teams that lose, if the Giants win, they fall 1. So the Giants can fall anywhere from 1 to 7.
All right, Christy, one-word play here. What do you have?
Cowboys.
Tom?
What about Mike?
Well, let's do the fans.
All right, Giants. I'm sorry, Giants. Cowboys.
Over. Mike?
Over.
Okay.
Nick?
Cowboys.
And Zan?
Dallas.
Okay. All right, now to the late window. And Nick, we've got an Andrew Catalon, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, AJ Ross special on CBS as we've got your Jets and Brady Cook taking on the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills at Highmark Stadium are a touchdown favorite with a 37.5-point total.
Do we know if Allen's starting?
I'll tell you, Josh, second straight day. Now, we're doing the show on Thursday this week. Josh Allen did not practice for the second straight day. So it's setting up for him to rest during the season finale.
Who's the backup?
It would be Trubisky.
Oh, Trubisky? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The Jets are trash. Bills lock. Sorry.
Oh, I thought for a second you would have gone under because your under locks have been very good lately.
No, Bills. If the Bills don't win this game by at least 8 or more, we're going to have a problem. I know Allen's not starting. I know it's not. They don't have everybody intact, but
they're going to be a wild card seed.
Yeah, this is my lock. Bills are going to cover.
Timing of this is interesting because I think this number is going to come down in the next day or so. But as of now, I will take the Bills as well. Zan?
I will take the Bills as well. Yep.
Okay. Christy?
Bills.
Mike?
Give me Money Mitch.
Tom?
Money Mitch, Bills.
Right, that's a clean sweep for all of us at Highmark Stadium. Zan, it is in fact a Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi special on Fox as we've got in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions and Caleb Williams and Mike's Bears at Soldier Field, and the Bears a field goal favorite.
If the Bears win, they are the 2 seed. If the Eagles lose, they are the 2 seed. If the Bears lose and the Eagles win later, the Bears are the 3 seed. That's the scenario here.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see the Bears split against Detroit. There's a lot of people in my area that would like to see the Bears play the Packers in the first round too. So there's also that. But nonetheless, though, obviously an important game. Even though Detroit has nothing to play for, it's still a rivalry game. We'll see the Bears are playing their starters too, so that's a major shakeup there. And I think Ben Johnson wants some revenge against his former team. So give me the Bears as a field goal favorite at home to win and roll into the playoffs and hopefully host a home playoff game in the wild card round. So give me the Bears.
Mike.
Yeah, so Caleb needs 270 to be the first Bears quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards.
Ooh.
If there's a game that it could happen, it's this game. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Is there a slight chance? Yes. But there's going to be Rome didn't practice for 2 straight days, so we don't know what. I think they're gonna sit him, wait for the playoffs, and Luther Burden's was full, so that's some big news. So we still have our starters playing. We're at home. Give me the Bears -3, lock of the week.
I'm not surprised.
Christy?
Well, yeah, I'd like to see Caleb Williams achieve that little milestone, but is it going to happen? Yeah, probably not. But I'm still picking the Bears -3.
Tom?
It sucks to see the Lions have fallen so far after starting off so great, but the Bears are the better team here. They're the division winners. And yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of motivation to play the Packers in the opening round of the playoffs. So give me the Bears.
Nick?
Divisional game. Yes, I'm stealing from Michael here. Divisional game, high scoring. Yeah, I think this is an over. The 3 points too close for me to pick spread-wise in this game because, again, the Bears are playing good football. I will admit that. They've won games. But at the same time, what did you say, Michael, in the last couple of weeks? It's heart attack every time. Every time. You have to go to the hospital for heart palpitations every time you play the Bears play. So
Nick, I told you the same thing before the Bears came back to beat the Packers that maybe they've fallen down to earth a little bit, and sure enough, we're starting to see some of those signs, but it hasn't really been as glaring as people may have thought.
The Lions are bad. Yeah,
you're not fully wrong.
The Lions have been terrible, and now I think they should admit that their 2 coaches walking away was the biggest mistake that they ever made for the organization. I think we're seeing that now. But I love the over. I think there's going to be a ton of points scored in this game, even though this means nothing to the Lions whatsoever. They will do anything to beat the Bears at this point in time, so over.
Nick, for the playoff machine in the scenario, do you still see the Bears winning, or are you going to give the Eagles, or is the door going to be open for the Eagles?
I think the Bears squeak it out, but they're not going to cover.
Fair enough.
That's why I'm not touching the spread. Absolutely over. Absolutely lock of the week over. 50.
There was 73 points scored last time.
That's what was partially playing in for me there.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think the Lions will put a 52 again. I think the Bears will tone it down a little bit. But with the Lions with nothing to play for, and they want to go out with a bang, they're not going to turn the ball over 6 times, and they're also not going to hold the opposition to 3 passing yards. And if you look at the Bears in games that they were over in over 50-point games, they're 2-1 in the over above 50. And the only time they were under, they scored 31. I think both of these teams get the 31, or at least one does. And I think Caleb will play with that motivation of trying to get over 270. But yeah, this game absolutely screams that it's going to get loose here. So take the over.
Wait, which loose?
What's that? Oh, capital loose. Loose!
Now, Johnny, before we go to the next game, same question to you for the playoff machine and scenarios.
Have fun.
That's why I love the over more than picking a team. Because I could see Dan Campbell with nothing to play for, how bad they looked last week.
4th and 12 going for it.
Well, that's just Dan Campbell.
Right.
But I would take the Bears because they have more to play for. I think they do get it done.
So all of us are basically in agreement that the Eagles would be the 3 seed and the Bears would be the 2.
Probably.
Yeah, and that might be playing to what they're going to do later. So we'll see. Pretty cool one there to end the season, regular season up in Chicago. All right, so I went last in that game. I'll start first in this next game. A Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson special on CBS as we got the Chargers not with Justin Herbert. This is a rest alert scenario, Tom. Trey Lance and the Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix at Empower Field at Mile High.
And the thing that proves to be a little bit costly here for the rest alert, and the thing that proves to be a little costly here is that the Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars are both going to be rooting for the Chargers because if the Broncos win this game, they are the number 1 seed in the AFC. For the Broncos to fall to either the 2 or 3, they have to lose.
So this is exactly like last week for the Chargers. A bad offensive line going up against a powerful defensive front. And then add to that this week, a backup quarterback, mile-high air, and the opposition playing for the AFC number 1 seed. I'm taking the Broncos minus take the money. Zan?
Yeah, this should be a good game. I think it's one of those AFC West games where I think the Chargers are gonna try to give the Broncos fits, but overall though, Denver's just the better team, and I think Denver wants momentum going into the postseason, knowing it didn't play as well as it should have against the Chiefs this past week. So give me Denver to win the final regular season game.
Christy, what do you have?
Well, Broncos are just so much better, and I know Chargers are playing with backup, but I just think the Broncos are going to get them. Going Broncos, lock of the week.
Oh,
wow. Right.
Christy gonna lock. Well, not the biggest spread, but went up there this week. Mike?
Yeah, I have mixed opinions about this Broncos team. I think they're the Bears of the AFC.
Mm-hmm. I think
that's
so
what
too.
they win these games very closely, and that's exactly what the Bears do. But I'm not taking this spread. I'm not doing it. So I'm going to actually take the over here just because I do think there's going to be more than 38 points. So over 37.5 here.
Solid play. Yep. And Tom?
First of all, for my play for this game is going to be very simple.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The AFC number 1 seed. Give me the Broncos. Take the money.
okay.
Mike, I gotta ask for the machine and the scenarios. Do you give the Chargers any shot?
No, the Broncos win. I just don't know if they win by 12.5.
Okay, fair enough.
So Michael, are you taking the over then?
Yeah, over.
Yeah, Mike's got the over, and Tom is you're taking the money?
Yes.
Okay. Nick?
I'm with Michael. We've agreed a lot on picks this week.
Wow.
I'm on the over too. I was on the over as soon as I saw this game. Bo has not covered the spread a ton this year. It's a big number. I get it. The Broncos have been the best, and I'm the one who said, I think I said in the previews, I was the one that said, don't sleep on the Broncos.
Right, but it's also that the Chargers are not playing their starters.
I get it, but it's a big number. It's a huge number.
With Herbert out, and I mean, that also factors into it too.
I get it, but Bo has not covered the spread even with advantages on his side before. So I am going to take the over. I think plenty of points are going to be scored in this game.
Yeah.
Fair. I feel like this is like last year in Week 18 when you had the Chiefs playing the Broncos. Broncos needed to win to get in. They were a big favorite and they blew them out. I think it's going to be very similar to that regard, but we'll find out because they got to play the game there in Denver. All right, Nick, I ended with you there, and I'll start with you here. Our next fast track game takes us to SoFi Stadium. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary on Fox, as we've got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Rams, and the Rams are 7.5-point favorites.
If the Rams, sorry to cut you off, Nick.
Go ahead. There's a scenario. I know.
There is one scenario here. Very simple. It involves the wild card. The Rams most likely will be the 6th seed. Most scenarios are that they will be the 6th. They can move back up to the 5 in spite of what happened last week if they win here and if Seattle beats San Francisco on Saturday night.
So wait. So if we say that again. So if the Seahawks beat the
if Seattle beats San Francisco and the Rams win here, the Rams move up from the 6 to the 5. I believe the Rams hold the tiebreaker over San Fran.
Okay, because I'm just thinking about that when I go to make my play because that's kind of critical.
They do not have the tiebreaker over Seattle. So if San Fran wins, the Rams are the 6.
Okay, so take that all in, Nick. What do you have?
I don't know what to think about the Rams right now currently because of the loss to the Falcons. I get it. It wasn't a big game. They probably played down to the competition. Gee, we've heard a team that we haven't talked about yet that plays down to their competition every year in the Steelers every single year.
Actually, hold on. I do have something important to say that I just Googled quickly that is pivotal.
Okay.
Pivotal information. Sean McVay says, in spite of not being in the race for the NFC West, and in spite of the scenario I just said, he will not rest his starters.
Oh, boy.
Okay, give me the Rams then at that point, because I think they're going to be motivated to win this game. I think they're going to want to get as high as they possibly can. to avoid certain teams. The Cardinals are what they are. Just give me the Rams. I think they're going to be motivated to win.
So that is critical. Tom, the only reason why I was asking that was because here's what's the tricky thing. So if the Niners win, then they're basically locked into where they are, right?
Correct. But apparently McVay says they will play the starters.
Before you even said anything, I was going to say that they should be playing their starters because they need some sort of confidence going into the playoffs. Because
momentum, yeah.
Right now, and I told you guys this before we started the recording, I'm scared for them going up against the Eagles. I think that's a bad matchup for them. As much as I think they could get out of the NFC, I think them playing the Eagles is a disaster for them. But yeah, I think the Rams are going to win this, but I love the over more because I think the Rams are going to put up a clinic. The Cardinals' defense is atrocious, and even if it's 31-10, the one thing the Cardinals are good for, and I knew this with my fantasy team, and was one of the reasons why I won my fantasy Super Bowl, is that Trey McBride can give me a garbage time touchdown, and that'll take it to the over. So that was a big reason why I won my fantasy championship this year, and that'll be a reason why it takes it over. I'm gonna take the over, but yeah, I would absolutely take the Rams to win.
Says the guy who didn't want to play fantasy football for many years,
and who started 0-4 and rallied to get to the Super Bowl and won it. Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. I'll give that to you.
So as Tom knows, I can't make a play to save my life, but man, I can do well in fantasy. I'll take one out of the two. All right, Zan?
I think this game has a chance to be really interesting, especially with the nugget that was just presented to us, just in regards to whether, just in regards to the fact that the Rams are going to play their starters, which I think is a very bold move. I would not have expected that at all. But with that being said, this is one of those games where with that caveat, I actually think a lot of points are going to be scored here. So give me the over in this game.
Christy.
I mean, considering they're going to be the starters for the Rams are going to be out there, I'm going to go Rams.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go Rams here. I think Stafford's still looking for that MVP trophy. So I'm going to go Rams.
I'm stick there. And Tom, go ahead. I'll fix that.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. So listen, it's funny that we talk about with the Chargers resting their players, even though their seed isn't exactly locked. But, and it's something that I mentioned in here before we started recording, that organization has looked at Week 18 so differently after the whole Brandon Staley debacle a few years ago.
Yeah.
And for that reason, if San Fran wins on Saturday night, I should be criticizing the Rams and Sean McVay for starting their players. Mm-hmm. The thing is, kind of like what Nick and Johnny were mentioning, after the way they played last week against Atlanta, I don't know if you can afford that because you need some momentum on your side. Mm-hmm. And when I just peeked into the Sports Illustrated version of the article, Sean McVay said he will not rest his starters simply because they need to play better. Now, divisional is one thing. Divisional games are always tricky. We've always talked about that with this on the show. Yeah. But if there is one team, that you want to be fired up, you want to take back that 5 seed, play the NFC South champion instead of playing the Eagles or the Bears in the opening round. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the kind of matchup that you need with the Cardinals. So, Rams, take the money, lock of the week.
Woo!
Oh! There you go. Very solid play. All right, Christy, next game, there's no playoff scenario here, so...
And I already went over to draft one with the Giants.
Yeah, so just a one-word play. Chris Lewis, Kyle Long, Tiffany Blackman special on CBS. The Kansas City Chiefs, 5.5-point favorites against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Now, I do believe, however, the one caveat here is Kenny Pickett is going to start because Geno Smith is injured.
Right.
I will look that up real quick, but Christy, what's your play? Go ahead.
Chiefs, take the money.
Mike?
Call me crazy. Under.
Wait a minute here.
Mike,
did Mike just say the word?
Fourth time for Mike this year taking the under. Tom?
You know what's crazy? I agree with Mike. Under.
So wait, Gino is on the injury report. He was a DMP Wednesday.
To start.
I'm assuming he's probably not going to start.
Let me just say, Pete Carroll said he anticipates both Kenny Pickett and Aiden O'Connell to play this on Sunday.
Okay, so Gino
Doesn't matter. I'm still picking under.
Yeah.
Right.
Nick?
Yeah, under. Not even a question. I think this is going to be like, I don't know, 14-7, maybe. If that, I think it's going to be a bad game.
Yeah, so my original play was the Raiders, but why would I gamble on that? Just take the under.
Chris Olajuwon versus Kenny Pickett. Come on.
Yeah, Olajuwon's not going to put up a lot of points either. Zan?
Under. I was thinking the Raiders too, but given their quarterback situation, it just doesn't make sense to play them. It's going to be the under.
Very fair. And okay, so there's that. And then our next fast track game, Tom, Joe Davis, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver on Fox. Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots, and Drake May at least going to start this one. Pats 10.5-point favorites and the over-under 45.5.
As I mentioned earlier, Pats have to win this game, and they need the Broncos to lose for the Pats to get the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Now, what's tricky with that, Tom, before you make your play, is, again, they both are playing at 425.
Correct.
So unless there's going to be some scoreboard watching, so how do you play this game with all that in mind?
That's a good question, honestly. Just because you really don't know what New England is thinking. Obviously, I feel like they have to at least start their starters in order to give themselves a chance. You can't not give yourself a chance in Week 18. I just don't know how to feel, especially considering what's going on with Miami, and if Mike McDaniel is playing to keep his position or to look at other opportunities. His name has been coming up, as Nick mentioned, in the Cleveland Browns was a coaching search.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the safer bet on this one is going to be an overplay.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm with the guy on the left again. I'm taking the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points. I think the Patriots are going to do 95% of the scoring in this game. The Dolphins will put up some points. Can you imagine if Mike McDaniels ends up with the Browns? I'm just going to say that now. I'm just throwing that out there. That's not meant for discussion. But my point is that I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think the Patriots are going to score in the realm of 40 points. If you're telling me the Dolphins can't put up a touchdown, I don't know what to tell you. Take the over.
See, I actually think it's going to be a lot closer than that, but that's why, with all that, what we were just saying, that's why I'm not comfortable with a team. My original play in this game was the Dolphins, but I just don't know how long the number ones are going to be on the field, and that's why it makes this very difficult to pick. And then the Dolphins have been a very frisky team the second half of the year. Remember,
Johnny, sorry to cut you off, but since we're still in the first half of pickers here, the only reason I would suspect the Patriots play their starters the whole time, if Jacksonville wins in the earlier window and the Pats lose, Pats fall to the 3 seed.
This is why we got that's why this week 18 is the toughest week. But I'm going to try and simplify this. I'm going to go over because I think the Dolphins will put up some points. Quinn Ewers and them have been very sneaky in the second half of the year, and that's what saved Mike McDaniel's job to this point.
Johnny and Nick, are you guys confident enough in saying that and that the Dolphins will somehow win this game?
No, I think the Pats will win, but honestly, like if I was taking the spread, Tom, I would take the Dolphins plus 10.5. That was my original play, but I like the over more because I think it's more like 27-17. I'm sorry, like almost 30-20 even. I think that's how it's going to be.
I'm the same way. I think the Dolphins could cover, but the Pats will win.
Yeah, and then even if the Pats blow them out, I think it still hits over.
Mm-hmm.
Zan?
Yeah, this is one of those where I think a lot of points are going to be scored as well. So it's going to be the over in this game. If I were to make a pick on this game, I would take New England, but I think the over is the more conservative and safer play. So that's what I'm going with.
Christy.
I don't feel comfortable picking either team, so I'm going to no question Patriots are going to win, but I'm going to take the over.
Okay. Mike?
I think Drake May plays absolutely insane. They're gonna.
I mean, he and Stafford are still battling for the MVP.
Yeah,
so.
he's still battling for the MVP. So I'm gonna take the Patriots here to win.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
That might be a little bit of a reason also why the Pats might put up a lot of points in this game too, because he's closing that gap for sure. And then Zan, one more fast track, our penultimate game of the regular season. It is, in fact, a Kevin Harlan, Ross Tucker, Melanie Collins special on CBS. We've got the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this line dropped 2.5 points on Thursday. The Eagles still laying 4.5 and a 35.5 point total. Tom?
We've got a rest alert here. There is a report that the Eagles will rest some, not all, but some of their starters this week. It seems like they are, even though they can win and the Bears lose for the Eagles to jump to the number 2 seed, but it seems like they do not care about the seeding.
I know Hurts is resting.
So
Hurts is going to rest. I don't have any update on McLaurin and Daniels.
Well, what that looks like then is we're looking at Zan. That means we're possibly looking at a Josh Johnson versus Tanner McKee special there at Lincoln Financial.
Yeah, I had the Eagles initially, but with all that in mind, I really like the under. I just think this game stinks if that's the quarterback matchup we're looking at, and I think whoever can come up clutch in the special teams department. And so with that said, give me the under in this game, assuming that ends up being the quarterback matchup.
All right, so Jaden Daniels is limited, and Mariota didn't play, so there's a quarterback issue going on in there.
Yeah, I think it's Josh Johnson against Tanner McKee. That's what it's shaping up to be.
Probably.
That's going to be ugly.
Zan, for the playoff machine, especially with your Bears in it, I need a team.
I still think the Eagles beat the Commanders.
Okay. Your play is the under, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, Christy.
I would have picked the Eagles, but they're such a clown show. And even with the QB matchup being what it's probably going to be, I feel more comfortable taking the under.
Mike?
I don't feel comfortable taking 2 unders, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna pick the Eagles here. I'm just gonna play it smart because I honestly don't see the Commanders scoring all that much. I do think it's gonna be an under, but I'm gonna take the Eagles here.
Tom?
I'm more than comfortable picking 2 unders. I'm the guy who had the Limbo song, for God's sake, earlier this season. You expect Josh Johnson versus what's his name to have a freaking any sort of chance at an over? Hell no, under.
No, not at all.
Nick?
I'll do it since I missed my opportunity before.
Clown show.
That's
my
what
big mouth saying clown show.
That's what I think of the quarterback matchup in this game currently. Under.
Yeah, but as much as we want to talk about the Eagles being a clown show, they might be. But Christy, they might actually get a favorable matchup if it ends up being Rams-Eagles in the playoffs, because the Eagles, I think that's a great matchup for them.
Well,
Vic Fangio will put up a clinic against the Commanders' defense. The problem, though, with picking a total is that the Commanders' defense is so bad that the Eagles might put up, even with backups, might put up 30 points. So
yeah,
let's take. So give me the money, especially the number down to 4.5. I'm going to take the money and take the Eagles. So there we go. And then Nick, game 2, Zan's favorite words, game 272. Their Sunday Night Football on NBC. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark bring us home this regular season, as we've got the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and it looks like it will be Lamar Jackson taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's the Ravens, a 3.5-point favorite. Here's Tom.
All right. Very simple. This is the unofficial first playoff game. The winner of this game will get the number 4 seed. And they will be the AFC North champion, and they will play host to whoever the top AFC wild card is, whether that be Buffalo, whether that be Houston, or the Chargers, or Jacksonville. The loser, bye-bye. Season over.
All right. So with all that in mind, Nick, what's your play?
So no Metcalf either, right? Because of the suspension?
Correct.
Which is a problem now that I just thought about, because originally I said, could the Steelers win this? Here's the problem. The 40.5, they're almost begging you to take the over with that number. I feel like with the 40.5. I feel like that was a trick with the over-under. You know what? I'm stuck. Originally, I had the Steelers, but then I realized last week without Metcalf, the Steelers look lost offensively, and that's a problem. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to stick with my pick. going to stick with my pick. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think they're going to win. I think it was either they were going to win outright or the Ravens were going to win outright. I think the Steelers are going to win outright. I think Aaron Rodgers comes in and has a tough game, whatever that is. He does whatever he has to do to win. And I think the Ravens are on Outsville again. So I'm taking the Steelers.
Whew, I'm glad you said that, Nick, because I was either going to make you feel a lot better or a lot worse with your play. I'm totally with you. Now, when I say that is I would at least take the Steelers plus 3.5. If they're giving me that extra half a point in a division matchup like this, with everything on the line, a home dog like this, you absolutely take the Steelers. Now, from the Ravens side, a great sign that Lamar was a full participant in Wednesday's practice, because that's something we've rarely seen. Also, with the way the Steelers played without DK Metcalf, that should be a positive confidence sign for the Ravens. But when I look also at the Ravens, as much as Lamar is back out there and stuff, how healthy and effective is he really? That's what it ultimately comes down to. And the Raven defense is still a mess. I mean, look what I know they beat the Packers, but look how bad that defense was against Malik Willis, who's a great backup too. So I look at that. And again, you're giving me an extra half a point at home in a divisional series finale like this. I'll tell you right now, I would take Steelers money line. I don't see how Aaron Rodgers how possibly this is his last game. He goes out like this. I just don't see it. And I hope I'm not going to bite saying this. I just cannot feel like I can go against Mike Tomlin this way. So even if the Ravens do win, I think Tyler Luke might kick a field goal at the end. So I'm going to take the Steelers to at least cover. Tom, if you want something for the playoff machine, what the hell? Give me the Steelers.
Okay.
By the way, and if the Steelers were smart, they will stack the box against Derrick Henry that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, because Lamar hasn't escaped the pocket the entire season.
And Nick, I agree. This is the kind of matchup where I say let Lamar beat you.
Yeah, I agree.
Let Lamar beat you. Absolutely. I can't have Derrick Henry run all over me. Look what happened last week. Derrick Henry killed the Packers last week. I'm not going to have him beat me. I'm going to have a questionable, unhealthy, possibly ineffective Lamar Jackson beat me, not a healthy, effective Derrick Henry.
Right. You'll almost leave the path open if Lamar wants to run and see if he's going to run. I don't think he will.
And Johnny, just to add to that, as much as Derrick Henry can kill, the Ravens, including Henry himself, have had some fumbling issues this season too.
Very early on too. And I would take the over too, because I still think the Raven defense is atrocious. But you're right, Nick, that 40.5 number, it's very tricky and it's kind of fishy, which is why I won't touch it. I'll touch the spread more. Zan?
Yeah, this is one of those games where this is just old school. This is how the AFC North was supposed to come down to it like this. These two teams hate each other, and Johnny, you just alluded to it, and I'm going to agree with you. As much as I can't stand him, it potentially being Aaron Rodgers' final game in the NFL with a chance to go to the playoffs on the line and a chance to win another division title, I don't see how the Steelers lose this game. Give me the Steelers outright to win the game, but at the very least, even having said that they will cover, what's very good for the Steelers more than likely is that they won't have to deal with Lamar Jackson, or at least a healthy one. So I think Pittsburgh is going to right the ship when they're supposed to, and they will be the AFC North champions going into the AFC playoffs as the number 4 seed. So give me Pittsburgh in game 272 to round out the NFL regular season.
Okay. Christy?
I mean, even with Lamar Jackson back at practice and everything, I mean, we don't know how healthy he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be that effective, and I don't like the over-under at all. So I'm going Steelers.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going the opposite of everyone here. I'm going to go Ravens. I think they win this game. I think they win by a touchdown. I just think the way Derrick Henry played, you're going to have Lamar beat you, and I think Lamar is going to beat him. I don't know what Lamar we're going to get, but I have a feeling where he's going to come out and he's going to beat him. So, and that's not me being biased against Aaron Rodgers, because I picked Aaron Rodgers the last month.
Yeah, you have.
So,
You have.
Yeah.
So, but this one, I do think the Ravens come out and win, and then they'll get bounced first round of the playoffs.
All right, Tom, the last pick of the regular season is yours.
All right. And I'll be very honest. I think Derrick Henry right now is the only positive that the Ravens have. I mean, Zay Flowers is also a great positive. The problem is, and I've been preaching it, I know multiple people have been preaching it for the last month plus on this show. You guys were just talking about it. As much as, yes, the Ravens need Lamar Jackson to play, like Christy mentioned, I don't know how necessarily healthy he is. Is he healthy enough that he can play the full time? Or is there going to be one bad blow from that tough Steeler defense and he's going to have the wind knocked out of him and Tyler Huntley's going to come back in? If Tyler Huntley plays at any point during this game, the Ravens are losing. No disrespect to Huntley, but I can't see a tough Steeler defense. Yeah, it's one thing. It would be a Mike Tomlin thing. I know Trees talked about it for the team to go 9-8, have that big collapse and miss the playoffs because that is the Mike Tomlin thing. But I can't see Aaron Rodgers, as much disrespect as some of us have given him the last few years, a potential last NFL game of the regular season, a division on the line. I feel like he's one of those QBs that can go beast mode when need be. Mm-hmm. And I think even at 42, he has surprised a lot of us this season. And with the Steelers, yes, you have no DK Metcalf. But you know what the Steelers do have? The Ravens may have a Derrick Henry. The Steelers have a Kenneth Gainwell, who has been one of the biggest surprises of this season as well. I have more confidence in the Steelers. I think they outright win, but even if they don't, the plus 3.5 is too good to pass up. And the 40.5, you're right, too fishy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And TJ Watt could be back also. He's been limited the last couple of days, but he's been ramping it up. So there's a sign he could be out there.
Can I throw one more scenario out there quickly?
Yeah.
Would it make sense for the Ravens to just start with Huntley rather than putting Lamar in, he gets hurt, then you have to jackknife Tyler Huntley into this game? Are you better off preparing as Tyler Huntley being the starter for the game?
I don't think so, but I think you should prepare Huntley, get him some first-team reps in case something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if something happens, you can just put him in there.
I think if the Ravens are going to go down, I think they're going to go down with their top guy.
Right.
Okay.
We'll find out, and maybe TJ Watt will be back there too. Again, he's been out limited the last 2 days, and that could be a sign though he's ramping things up. So that puts a wrap on the regular season edition of the football forecast. So just 18 weeks. That's it. But you know what though, the regular season may be over, but we have a lot more still to do in terms of the show. The show is not going away yet. First and foremost, though, some programming notes. Make sure to check out the regular season finale of the Gridiron Gurus with Grant and Michael. Now, have your notifications set on youtube.com/ETB Network. We'll give you a time, definitely, and we'll have the placeholder out there so you can find out when that's going to be.
We're possibly looking at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. That's where we're looking.
Yeah,
currently.
We'll put the placeholder. They'll put the placeholder out there, and you can find that out for you. And then, as far as this show goes, we are going to have a little bit of a switch with this show. Note that the wild card edition of the football forecast will be a live show happening next Friday, January the 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So you can interact with us. We'll tell you a lot more about that as it gets closer, but it allows you all to interact with us. If you have any questions or any comments about the wild card round and so much more, feel free to interact with us during the show. And of course, we'll have all of our picks as well. That's not going away. That just happens live on Friday. And of course, your friendly reminders to check us out, youtube.com/ETB Network, where you can get not only this show, but all of our shows on the podcast network, including our shows that are returning for the season premieres starting next week. Of course, that's Nick's show, Empty the Bench, Tom Zan, and the MMA Outsiders, which has been going on. Of course, I'll be back with Nick D for Moving the Goalposts next week, and so much more. And if you can't watch us on the video side, make sure to listen to the football forecast wherever you get your favorite podcast. So, guys, week 18, cherish it all. It's going to start Saturday. It's going to be epic. So, a lot that obviously we'll know everything when we're here next week.
And also keep your eye out on social media. I'll be taking screenshots of the end result of everyone's playoff machines. So we can see at the end of our week 18 predictions, what our predictions would mean for the playoffs starting next week.
Also, you'll be on top of the playoff scenarios as they are happening. Because by the way, those posts did well. Just saying that when you put out the playoff
This
scenarios,
is people love this.
they do.
I know you do.
I do.
So stay on top of the playoff scenarios. We will have them all when they drop, but it is officially the end of the NFL regular season.
Wow.
So everybody, yes, we made it to the end of the regular season. Like Johnny said, we usually do just the Super Bowl show live. The plan is this year, the entire playoffs, we are going to be live for every single show, starting with the wild card round all the way through to the Super Bowl show. We will give you more notice when that comes up, but every show is going to be live from here on forward.
Yes. So take it all in and enjoy. So for everybody here at the ETB Network, I'm Johnny Montalbano. Enjoy this final regular season weekend of NFL football, and we'll see you again next week live for the postseason.